So, working with any pediatric client always means you're also working with their family, especially their parents or their guardians. And this, I found this is something that is the hardest thing for a lot of people. Um, and it's a whole wide spectrum. So, you'll have experiences with families where the parents are just super eager to learn everything. Maybe they don't have as much already established knowledge, everything's new to them, but they're super eager to learn, they'll work with you, they're supportive, engaged. You'll have parents who will pretty much just hand their kid over and be like, fix my kid, and not really be open to doing anything on their own or to learning, but kind of just leave it all up to you, which is kind of a challenge because sometimes it's less about fix my kid per se and more about everything else that's going on at home that you can't really always work on without parent support, which that's a challenge. There's other parents that, you know, they're set in their ways and maybe you disagree with them in some ways, but it really is up to them how they choose to parent. Um, 'Cause it's one thing for us as professionals to have our private personal beliefs, and it's another thing to let our professional techniques only be informed by our private beliefs and not be open to other things. So an example of this might be, so I personally am not super structured when it comes to children. I'm very much into organic learning. You might have or I might have a parent that I'm working with that does really believe in structure and believes, you know, their kid needs to learn how to read um, early on or needs some semblance of structured activities versus less structured play. That's fine. That's not a bad belief. I might not personally fully agree with it, but I still need to respect that belief whenever I'm working with their child. And some of the lines do get a little tricky here, depending on the child and what works well for the child, and especially if it's an older child, maybe the child disagrees with those beliefs, and then it's just there's a lot of complexity in handling that. But the key thing is, as a therapist, I need to be respectful of the family and their beliefs and their techniques. Um, and it's not my job to change that. It's my job to support them and help that child maybe both be able to function with those beliefs and structures and even discover um, their own sort of self-concept within that. You also might find families out there that know more than you. Like, I've worked with a couple parents that it's kind of been one of those of why do they need me? They know everything that I could possibly offer. They connect so well with their kid. They are 100% the expert. What kind of am I doing that even compares to that? And honestly, sometimes it's just a change of setting, helping that kid connect with other people that aren't just their parents, helping them connect with peers in the community, giving the parents a little bit of a break too. So working with parents and guardians is a whole spectrum. Um, I think so. I have a list of different ways that you can support different parents. Sometimes it's connecting to resources, connecting to peer groups and support groups. Other times it's modeling um, and mirroring different approaches, showing how successful their child can be with certain things. Um, Other times it's just engaging the whole family and creating kind of a family bonding positive experience and ideas. Excuse me. But one of the biggest things to remember is you're always presuming competence. Um, so I mentioned a little bit, there's some families that this is all new to them. They don't know much about disabilities or mental health. It's just not something they learn because they didn't really use it before. Um, I'm still going to presume that they know. That being said, it's exploring to see what they know and how I can support. But I'm not just going to come in and be like, this is this, this is this, do this. You're still supporting them and still going off of their knowledge and helping them learn and engage. You're not the one that's going to be controlling or telling them how to work with their child. Um, you're kind of supporting their exploration of that and providing them with resources. They might find something that, like, you give them a resource, they find a technique that you completely disagree with, but maybe it works for them. They might find a technique that you agree with completely. It's really just being careful to make sure you're not subjectively trying to take over that role, if that makes sense. You're presuming that they're able to learn on their own and that they're able to make those decisions. And there really is no complete right way to parent. There's ways that each of us individually think and approaches individually we use, but we can't dictate what approaches everyone uses, as long as it's obviously not abusive or dangerous or harmful. That is the case when we would step in and provide education, but still being able to use that gentle approach and not a directorial approach. I hope that clarifies things a little bit.